Take a moment and remember your favorite teacher. Now imagine that teacher could reach not 30 kids in a classroom, but millions of students all over the world. That's exactly what Sal Khan is doing on his website, Khan Academy. With digital lessons and simple exercises, he's determined to transform how we learn at every level. One of his most famous pupils, Bill Gates, says Khan, this teacher to the world, is giving us all a glimpse of the future of education. With 3 degrees from MIT and an MBA from Harvard, his errand is intensely intellectual. In his tiny office above a tea shop in Silicon Valley, he settles in to do what he's done thousands of times before.
We've talked a lot now about the demand curve and consumer surplus. Now let's think about the supply curve.
He's recording a 10-minute economics lesson. It's so simple. All you hear is his voice, and all you see is his colorful sketches on a digital blackboard.
In this video, we're going to talk about the law of demand.
2004, when Sal Khan was working as a hedge fund analyst in Boston, and his cousin Nadia, a 7th grader in New Orleans, was struggling with algebra. He agreed to tutor her remotely and wound up posting lessons on YouTube. They helped Nadia, but then an odd thing happened. Total strangers started using them too.
I started getting feedback like, you know, my child has dyslexia and this is the only thing that's getting into him. I got letters from people saying, you know, we're praying for you and your family. That's pretty heady stuff. You know, people don't say that type of stuff to a hedge fund analyst normally.
Consider what happened next.
There's a website that I've just been using with my kids recently called Khan Academy, K-H-A-N. Just one guy doing some unbelievable 15-minute tutorials.
I was like, those videos for Nadia, not Bill Gates. I have to take a second look at some of this stuff.
That's right. Bill Gates, one of the smartest and richest men in the world, was using Sal Khan's free videos to teach his own kids.
2 weeks later, I got a call from Larry Cohen, who's Bill Gates' chief of staff, and he says, you know, you might have heard, Bill.
Today, with the help of more than $15 million in funding, much of it from the Gates Foundation and Google, Khan has been able to hire, with competitive salaries, some of the most talented engineers and designers in the country. The Khan Academy office has the intense vibe of a Silicon Valley startup. The team is working to create software they hope will transform how math is taught in American class. Teacher, less lecturing, more interaction. What you think of as homework, you do at school, and schoolwork, you do at home. It's called flipping the classroom, and 7th grader Laureen Forget says using Khan Academy at home has given her math a big boost.
I'm not a big fan of textbooks. I thought that Khan Academy was a lot easier because it's on a screen, it's easy to find the concept you want to do.
What's the hardest part about learning this way?
I don't really think there's a hard part.
Kids like 6th grader Alex Hernandez can take as much time as they need to learn a concept.
My mom, she went to school in Mexico. Some things she can explain to me, but some she can't. So I take long to try to finish my homework.
How did you used to do in math?
Pretty bad, at a 3rd grade level math. So, Khan Academy has helped me. It's like open doors that I couldn't open. It's helped me a lot.
Khan Academy has created a dashboard so teachers like Courtney Cadwell can monitor each student's progress.
So right now they're all working on things and you can see that real time.
Yes.
So as you sit here and look at the dashboard, you see how the students are doing individually, you see how they're doing as a whole class,
Yep.
And you can figure out who you need to help.
Exactly, and here I can track their progress over time. I can see who's rushing ahead, who's lagging behind. I can see if they begin to stagnate.
A blue bar indicates a student knows a concept. Orange, they're still working on it. But if a red bar pops up,
is kind of the red flag to tell me, hey, it's time to step in and intervene. And I can see...
Oh, so you can see not only that it's red, but specifically what the problem is.
What they missed, and you can see the number of seconds they spent on each problem. I feel like I'm using my time more effectively with my students because instead of making the assumption that the entire class is weak in this area and I need to spend time reviewing this, I can really pull those 3, 4, 5 kids, do a mini workshop, address those needs, and allow those other students to move on to problem-solving activities or project-based learning with their peers.
Meantime, Chief Operating Officer Shantanu Sinha says they're gathering massive amounts of data, not just from American classrooms, but from every Khan Academy user around the world.
So you could say how many problems were done over the last 24 hours? How many was it?
Right now, in the last 24 hours, we had close to 1.8 million.
Wow. Not total, but just one day.
Just in a 24-hour period.
And when you take a look at total users over the last 18 months,
41 million visits from the United States. We can look, from India. We had 1.7 million, Australia 1.4 million.
Right.
Many people think they're doing something new, but they're not really changing the approach. Whereas with Saul, he said, what we're going to do is not only are we going to make these interesting 10-minute videos, but we're going to measure whether it works or not.
he was the guy to sort of make this happen? Why do you think it was him and not some person who was an educator or who had a background in this area?
Innovation never comes from the established institutions. It's always a graduate student or a crazy person or somebody with a great vision. Saul is that person in education, in my view. He built a platform. If that platform works, that platform could completely change education in America.
But Sal Khan believes his strategy can be used to teach subjects like history and science, and not just in elementary schools, but high schools and even colleges. But no matter how big or how successful Khan Academy gets, Sal Khan promises he'll never put a price tag on it.
The for-profits have to mold themselves much more to the education establishment than we do. As a not-for-profit, we're just like, what's our mission? To educate children as well as possible. I've said it enough times, and it's in our mission statement, a free world-class education for anyone.